Hey, you're listening to AM 740 KVOR, where you're on the Accelerated Wealth Show, where you get retirement confidence in an uncertain world. I'm Chris Abeyta, your host today, with Doug Berkey, my co-host, and we got a special guest. We always have a special guest, but our guest today is Josiah Allis. And, you know, whether you realize it or not, whether you're a business owner or an individual, the Affordable Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare, is, or it's soon, if it hasn't already, it's going to impact your life. There's many implications that are just coming to light, raising more and more questions as we're beginning to see the impacts of this law. Now, Josiah Allis, he is the president and co-founder of Design Health, and he's here to actually help today. Health insurance is an important part of, your financial plan, my financial plan, whether you buy it personally or whether you buy it from your employer. It's part of your freedom of choice as well. So stand by to see what you may be missing in Obamacare and how to prosper with this within this new framework. Let me tell you a little bit about Josiah. He's licensed in life and health insurance, and he services clients in over 25 different states. He's actually one of the region's foremost experts on defined contribution health plans. In 2012, he was selected by Cigna to serve on their National Advisory Committee. He has also testified before the Colorado Division of Insurance and consulted with legislators, both from the Colorado House and Senate, here on healthcare legislation. He graduated from the University of Northern Colorado with a business management degree and a certificate of entrepreneurship. Josiah, good to have you here.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Chris.
Time is short. We got a lot to talk about. And so I want to set this up. We're going to talk about three different things today, or really three topics. Number one, how the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare has the impact on businesses and what business owners can actually do to save a lot of money, really, when it comes to their healthcare and their healthcare costs for insurance. Then we're going to talk about if you're under 65, maybe you've gotten downsized from a job, or maybe you want to retire early, but you're not quite Medicare ready yet because of age. What are your options? I know a lot of people get very concerned about leaving work before 65 because they're terrified of the cost of insurance. So that's the second part that we're going to talk about. And then if you're over 65, how can you, talk a little bit about Medicare, but also what are some of the supplements that you can do when it comes to your overall health insurance? Josiah, tell me, what kind of impact is Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act having on small businesses today?
Chris, it's having a significant impact on small business.
Yeah, what are you seeing out there?
We're seeing that as businesses are converting their plans to be ACA compliant, we're seeing 25, 50, 60% rate increases to their insurance premiums. And a lot of small business owners are really raising their hands saying, I don't know what to do.
And that's a big cost. It's a big cost to the business owner. Is that cost getting also funneled down to the employee, or is it changing their health coverage? Are they getting less because the expenses are so much for the business in a group plan?
Well, I think it's a couple things. First off is that, business owners are wondering, can I even afford to maintain group insurance? And typically the expense is the second highest behind their payroll expenses. So this is a big cost. They want to offer a benefit, but a lot of times it's becoming a burden not only to the employer, but also to the employee.
This is the challenge with Obamacare. It's creating a lot more expense, especially on a group plan. But you're saying there are some huge opportunities for small businesses to not just have huge increases in their expenses, but if they do things right, they can actually save a lot of money.
That's right, Chris. And one of the things that we find is there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace thinking that Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is an actual plan, and it's not. It's really just a set of regulations that all health plans have to meet. And so when you hear of health plans that are being canceled, the reason why they're being canceled is because they don't meet the guidelines that the Affordable Care Act has set forth. And because of those guidelines, we're seeing cost increases, and those typically, range on the low end of 25%. But we just met with a business owner last week that had a 50% rate increase to their premiums by moving from a non-ACA compliant plan to an ACA compliant plan.
So when we're talking 50%, give us numbers. What was this, an extra $50,000 a year for this employer?
Exactly. So if you're spending $100,000 to insure 12 employees through your small group plan and you receive a 50% rate increase, that's bumping your annual premium from $100,000 to $150,000. And so as a business owner, you've got a few options. The first is maybe you just discontinue your group health plan altogether, or maybe you pass on more expense to the employee, which is really like a decrease in pay because of the expense of increasing that cost of insurance.
If you just joined us, we're talking to Josiah Allis. He's the president and co-founder of Design Health. And we're talking about today the impact of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, on small businesses, on employees, really the cost of insurance. So there's a paradigm shift, though, Josiah. You've talked to me about a paradigm shift between the way companies used to handle their group plans and something new that they can do that can actually, one, help them avoid these huge cost increases, actually save money, and I believe actually provide better health care for their employers. So it sounds like a huge win-win. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, it's very similar to what we saw back in the mid to late 70s, where you saw defined pensions that were really not working for a lot of companies, where employers, instead of offering a pension plan, they offered a defined contribution 401k plan. Okay. We're seeing the same shift with employer-sponsored benefits that really have been in place since World War II, and we're seeing that the shift is moving from the employer providing the group insurance plan and selecting a one-size-fits-all, one plan option, two plan option through a carrier, to saying, you know what, you work for us, we care about you as employees, and we're going to give you a defined amount of money each month that you can go out and provide your employees on a post-tax basis, on a pre-tax basis, and allow your employees to buy health insurance that works for them and their family.
What is the cost implication for first the business on a situation like that? Do you have an example?
When a business owner is faced with a 50% rate increase, they're looking at what are my options? And the first is that they pass on that expense to the employees. Yeah. The second is that they reduce benefits. The third is that they look at alternative options. And that's where we see that defined contribution as a benefits offering is really gaining a lot of traction, especially with small companies.
Okay, define for me the difference between the defined benefit, which was the employer, if I understand correctly, the employer is basically, you're buying a group health plan. One size kind of fits all for everybody. But when you move for the employer to go to a defined contribution, what is the difference there? Break that down in simplistic terms.
So the company prior or business is offering a group insurance plan. Moving forward, they're offering a defined amount of money. And so those dollars, instead of providing the actual insurance contract or the insurance plan, they're saying, we're going to give you a set amount of money that you can go out and purchase your own individual insurance, you, the individual, directly with the company. So instead of the business having a contract with Anthem or United Healthcare or Humana, Kaiser, they no longer are in the insurance business. They're in the here's how much we're going to give you towards your health insurance or towards your health benefit on a monthly basis, and allow the individuals to pick a plan that works best for them and their family. And so the decision-making is now at the individual level instead of the employer level, which allows the individual to really take ownership and control of their health insurance.
Well, I would think one of the other benefits there potentially, Josiah, is that if I end up leaving that company, now I can take my plan with me, where in the past my plan wasn't probably portable.
Doug, that's a great point. And what we find is that that's one of the struggles that the employer-sponsored model faces is that, number one, it's not personalized to the individual. You've got a business owner that's left in the position of deciding which plan to choose for all of its employees. Mm-hmm. You got into business to manage your company, to manage making your widget, not to decide on what health plan it works for all of your employees. And so there's that lack of personalization to the plan. The other piece is what you bring up is that employer-sponsored plans don't have a portable feature to them. You can't take that plan with you. You can have COBRA for 18 months, but you can't take that plan with you.
We hear that all the time. You lose your job, you lose your health insurance. In this case, if you lose your job or you get downsized or you leave, you can take the health insurance with you.
Yep, it's
which
permanent,
protects your family.
Permanent and portable. It goes with you.
Okay. So if you're a small business owner and you maybe are facing what Josiah is talking about, your health insurance premiums are going up significantly, or you'd like to see if you can actually get them lowered and actually offer, a better insurance plan to your employees or something that's more customized, but really bottom line save money to make your company more profitable. Give us a call. The number's 466-5634 here at Accelerated Wealth. We can put you in touch with Josiah. That's 466-5634. You can also go to designhealth.com. That's designhealth.com. I think you guys have some short little videos there that actually explain everything that we're talking about as well.
The Affordable Care Act is so complex, and so we try to break these issues that business owners are facing down into small segments so you can really identify the challenges that your business may be facing.
We got about a minute left just before this next segment. Tell me a story. I know there's a company right here locally in Colorado Springs. There's a lot of them, but there's one specifically that's a home builder. Most people would know the name of this home builder because they see it going by I-25 every day. What did you guys do for them?
We were able to go in and evaluate the benefit plan that they had. It wasn't working for them. It was very expensive and really couldn't afford to continue to offer that benefit the way that it was structured prior. But their heart is that they want to take care of their employees and they want to provide a good benefit for them. And so they were able to transition from offering a group insurance benefit to a defined contribution plan. And we were able to work with all those employees to buy health insurance that worked for them and their families. And due to that result, they were able to cut their expense by almost 50%.
What was that in dollar terms?
Several $100,000.
They saved several $100,000 in their health insurance by working with you guys and able
correct.
to get their employees something better. Hey, if that sparks your interest and you're a small business owner, you want to save some money see if you can on your health insurance premiums, give us a call, 466-5634. We'll put you in touch with Design Health and Josiah. That's 466-5634. When we come back, we're going to talk about if you're pre-retirement, what can you do to secure the health care you need before you get on Medicare?
Let's go back to Doug Berkey and Chris Abeyta for more about your financial future with Accelerated Wealth.
You're listening to AM 740 KVOR. I'm Chris Abeyta with Doug Berkey with Accelerated Wealth, where you get retirement confidence in an uncertain world. And one of the ways that we can accelerate your wealth if you're a small business owner is if we can help you cut the bottom line, cut a bunch of expenses out of your employee-covered costs or healthcare costs. Josiah, over the break we were talking about, you said there's some pretty significant mandates that are going to be hitting this year with Obamacare, and it's going to have an impact on, did you say 11,000 businesses here in Colorado? Tell us about that.
It is, and going back to what we spoke about earlier in the show, plans that are not compliant with the ACA had a phase-in, and every state was a little bit different, but Colorado made the decision that no ACA-compliant plans can exist after 2015.
Okay.
And so there's 11,000 small businesses in Colorado that are currently providing group insurance that are going to have those plans canceled towards the end of 2015.
So we're on a ticking time clock here.
Absolutely, and the cost increases when to convert those plans to an ACA compliant plan are those 25, 50, 60% rate increases, and that's really where we can come in and help by looking at a defined contribution solution for the company.
Okay, how do they get a hold of you?
They can one of two ways. You can go out to our website, designhealth.com, or you can contact us at 888-906-4288.
So that's 888-906-4288. You can go to designhealth.com, or you can just give us a call here at Accelerated Wealth, and we'll get you the number, get you in touch with Josiah. Josiah, if I'm a small business owner, I'm one of those 11,000 business owners, okay, and I realize that my health insurance may be completely canceled for all my employees because it doesn't meet Obamacare or ACA requirements by the end of 2015, I'm getting nervous, okay? Tell me about your product, Design Health. How does that work for me? What's the process as an employer? What do I go through?
Well, we love to get to know our business owners and understand their objectives. Most business owners that we sit down with love and care about their employees and want to provide a benefit. But what they're seeing is that these benefits are becoming such a burden to the company as well as a burden to the employees. And so we walk through a comprehensive analysis where we really compare what you have been doing and what a defined contribution approach would look like as far as savings, cost to the employees, cost to the company, and then if it's a right fit for you, then we come in and we work with the employees on an individual basis to help them select plans that work best for their families, and we work with you, the business owner, to design a plan that really works for your company and fits your budget and your needs.
So you come alongside me, the business owner, and basically walk me through this process.
Absolutely.
What's the burden on my HR person or my person that's currently in charge of the healthcare?
You know, the responsibility actually is reduced because currently you're in the position between the insurance company and the employee. So a lot of times if they've got issues with claims or getting their insurance cards or questions about their plan, they're coming to the HR representative or to the business owner. With a defined contribution plan, you're really out of the health insurance business, right?
Really?
You're now saying we love you as employees, we care about you, and we want to provide a benefit, but that relationship is between you and selecting the insurance company. And so we actually offer something called Enrollment Concierge, where we walk individuals through selecting a health plan that works for them and their family. And then if they've got any questions about those plans, whether it's getting a prescription filled, they're going in for surgery next month and they want to make sure that their doctor's covered, we've got a concierge team that is actually there to work with them and assist them through that process.
So for a lot less work on me, you guys are going to pick that up, carry the heavy burden, and get my employees something probably better than what they have now. It's going to save me money. I like that, and I get to run my business.
And typically, we see the cost savings in the individual market is 25 to 40%. And Chris, you didn't get into business to manage a healthcare plan. You got into business to manufacture your widget or provide your service to your clients.
If you want more information on this to see if this can really save you some money in your business and help your situation, go to designhealth.com, or you can call 888-906-4288. That's 888-906-4288, or just give us a call here at Accelerated Wealth and we'll help you. If you're a small business owner or you're related to a small business owner, I want you to just imagine this. Imagine that you don't have the headache anymore of having to manage a group health plan. Imagine you don't have to go to your employees anymore and tell them, guess what? Costs just went up, so I'm taking more out of your paycheck and you're getting less in benefits. Imagine that you can actually just focus on building your business and knowing that your employees get to go out and pick the healthcare that suits their family, that suits them better, and they're basically communicating directly with a health insurance company, and you're no longer the middleman. What does that do for you? What does that do for your company? If that's something that you need help with, if you're one of those 11,000 businesses where your plans are going to get cut this year, or you don't even know, maybe you are and you don't even know it, give Josiah a call. The number's 888-906-4288. That's 888-906-4288, or go to designhealth.com. Josiah, one of the biggest things, because we work in retirement, it's Accelerated Wealth, is we find a lot of our clients, they will either want to retire early, before 65, before they can get on Medicare, or they get downsized and they lose their jobs. They find themselves in a 3 to 5 year gap sometimes before they can get Medicare. And it's pretty terrifying. And they're so concerned about the costs of what it's going to cost them. And there's huge unknowns. Tell me what you can do at Design Health to help these people that are in that, what I call that pre-retirement gap before 65 and before Medicare.
Well, one of the things that we find, Chris, is that the individuals, when they put together a financial plan, one of the holes is how am I going to insure myself until I get to Medicare age? Yeah. And you can do everything right with your planning and your financial planning, and you don't do that right. And now you've got a hole where you're subject to high medical costs. And one of the interesting statistics out there is one of the number one reasons for bankruptcy is medical related expenses. Okay. And so from age 55 to 65 is typically where a lot of Americans incur a significant medical expense. And so finding that right coverage that's going to fit you until you get to age 65 is very important. Mm-hmm. One of the things with the Affordable Care Act is that individual insurance is now a guarantee issue, which means that if you have a pre-existing condition, like you've had a history of cancer or maybe diabetes in the family, you can buy health insurance and not be declined. And so prior to the Affordable Care Act going into place, sometimes individuals couldn't buy health insurance. Yeah. They were declined. And so that would leave a hole in their financial plan. And so that's one of the things that we do with individuals is find out what their needs are as they're looking to insure themselves to age 65.
Have you found that sometimes when they come to you and they need an individual policy because maybe they got let go from work, that it's actually less expensive for them than what they were paying at work?
Very interesting. We find that cost savings is typically between 25 and 40% than what they would find on their employer plan.
Wow.
The other thing is with
that's good news.
That's great news. With the Affordable Care Act, there's also the marketplaces that have been opened up. Yeah. And in Colorado, we have Connect for Health Colorado. And so depending on where your income falls, you may qualify for financial assistance towards your health insurance plan.
Especially if you did just get downsized or you're in that in-between and maybe your income has gone down because you retired. So if that is you and you're thinking, boy, I would love, one, to find out what kind of insurance can I get prior to going on to Medicare, and you want to know, give us a call, 466-5634. We can help connect you with Josiah here at Accelerated Wealth, 466-5634. Or you can call them directly at 888-906-4288. That's 888-906-4288. You have a story of somebody that's in that kind of a situation where they were pre-retirement age, they gave you a call, they needed something, and you were able to help them?
It was very interesting. We get calls from all types of individuals that are looking to retire, but one of the common misconceptions is that you can't buy health insurance that's affordable. And although it is expensive, a lot of times we sit down with individuals that almost feel like they have golden handcuffs, that they're working for their health insurance. And so when they can sit down and identify that maybe they can take a little bit more risk with a higher deductible on their health plan because they've got savings put away to help cover that, they realize that the premium isn't as expensive as they thought it might be, or that they could even get health insurance independent of their employer, and realize that maybe retirement is closer than what they expected because they're able to buy health insurance independent of their employer.
We've seen that with some of our clients. They've retired early. We hook them up with you. You get them a plan. They're happy. They're excited. It was less than they thought, and it really does. It ushers them into that retirement time.
All while still maintaining that protection of if
great.
Something happens, if there's a catastrophic event, it's not going to take away what they've done so well in the financial planning.
What you're getting here is you're getting that safety and protection of insurance, with the ability to maybe even retire sooner. And we're going to talk about that the second half of the hour, so stick around. We're going to talk about getting the growth that you need. Is it possible to get growth as well as protection at the same time? And that's what we're doing here is with health insurance, you're transferring that risk of the unknown over to the insurance company to get them to carry as much as possible and to really protect you from a catastrophic illness. In our last minute here, Josiah, tell me about what can you also do when it comes to people that are 65, they qualify for Medicare. Medicare doesn't pay for everything. What are some things that you guys offer in that zone as well?
I think one of the things that we find is that individuals, when they do get to retirement age, I think they're very surprised at how inexpensive it is to go on to Medicare and to really insure themselves, where a lot of times on a private plan, you've got a deductible and co-pays, where there's several plans once you're into Medicare where you can really fix your cost and have a fixed monthly cost, no deductibles. So if you do have a surgery or a medical event, really that cost is covered at 100%.
Give us a call here at Accelerated Wealth if you'd like to find that out. Maybe you are on Medicare already and you want to find out more about how to get that Medicare Advantage plan or supplement plan that can really bring some safety and security to your health side of your retirement. 466-5634, 466-5634. Stick around, because at the bottom of the hour coming up, we're going to talk about how you can get growth and protection at the same time in your retirement strategy. You're listening to Accelerated Wealth.
Let's go back to